What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Shot Squad Crofton, and welcome to Conversations with Crofton, Purpose Through a Lens, Episode 1. This is a purpose-driven platform, man, where we have real conversations about the story and the purpose behind what people do. Every conversation is different, but it all leads back to one thing, and that's purpose. So let's get right into it. Today, man, we got a heavy hitter. Special guest, man, really don't need no introduction, man. If you've been tapped in the communities, on the socials, he's been in several public school systems, mentoring the kids, several podcasts, Entrepreneur Live Talk, you did your thing. Shout out to my man, Rome, your favorite rapper.
Yeah.
Tales from the Jail, shout out to them guys. A couple other podcasts. Now you here.
Yeah.
Conversations with Crawford.
Yeah.
My guy.
What's up with
Mr.
you?
Count Time himself.
What's
Mr.
going
Count
on
Time
with you,
himself,
man?
Wood the Mentor.
What's up with you,
Good
bro?
to have you, brother. Good to have you,
good
man.
to be here, man.
Appreciate you
What's
for
going on?
pulling up, man.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? I want to let you know it's an honor and a privilege, brother. We don't take it for granted.
Right.
You know what I mean? I love what you're doing for these youngest, man. Keep it up, man. And glad you're here, man. We ready to talk, man.
Yeah, let's get to
You
it.
know what I mean? So we're going to get right into it, bro. How you feeling today, man?
Oh, man, I feel good, man. I was anticipating this, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir,
was
man.
anticipating this.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, see, I'm ready, man. I got the cards ready. Stay
Yeah,
focused,
I see.
man.
I
You know
see.
what I mean?
I see.
Steve Harvey joined us.
Yeah. I see you.
But yeah, bro, we're gonna get right into it, man. So, before people knew you as Wood the Mentor, like who was Wood growing up in North Philadelphia?
I was just a kid that was just trying to fit in. I was a kid that was just trying to fit in. I grew up without a dad. You know what I mean? No really male role models, and my mom, she worked, but she ran the streets.
Right.
So I was just a kid that was searching for something,
Mm.
and just an average little kid, man. Like to play sports,
Right.
and do things like that. Like to get in trouble. And I was just searching for something, man. And what I was searching for wasn't in the house.
Right.
So
So that just kept me like that's what kept me like in the streets.
yeah,
Trying to find
me.
that purpose in the streets.
Yeah, it kept me like looking for that love. I was looking for that love from that male figure that wasn't in the house. Because my mom, she always was at work.
Right.
And, she was working, but she also was into her addiction heavy.
Okay.
So because she was doing both, she was what you could call like a functional addict. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like she keep a job,
Right.
but she do her thing on the side.
Yeah, I get that, man. So it's like looking for love in all the wrong places.
Yeah,
situation,
yeah,
you know what
and older guys, they started to see that, and they started to use me.
Right.
But I thought it was love. Because
right.
I never received love from a man before.
Right.
So when they gave me that attention and them older guys, I thought it was love. But as you get older, you start to see that it wasn't.
See things. That's what's up, man. So so what was life teaching you, right? Back then that you thought was survival, but later on was just pretty much self-destruction.
I thought once I started selling drugs,
Right.
I thought that back then that was survival. That's how I had to get my money.
Right.
That's how I had to eat. And then once I started playing with guns, I'm like, okay, this is the life. But looking back on it now, it was like I was not just only destroying myself, I was destroying my community as well.
Right. Community, loved ones around you.
Yeah.
All types of stuff like that. Yeah, man. And pretty much, growing up in the hood, single mom, pop not around, mom doing the best she can.
Right.
Plus, that trying to get right from the drugs and everything. It's pretty much raising yourself, man. Just a youngin' running wild.
And my older brother stayed in jail. So it's like
so that's like your next role model.
Yeah, and I don't got nobody to look up to.
Yeah.
So old head gave me the drugs and gave me the guns, and that's what it was.
Right. So the guns and the drugs led to one thing. Like fast forward, caught a case, I mean, not get into the details of it, but do you think like what was your mindset like at that time in your life? Like did you think you were like losing yourself for good?
I was on the fence. Yeah, I was on the fence because putting a gun in my hand, it gave me a sense of power.
Right.
Because I was always getting bullied when I was little.
Right.
So because I was getting bullied when I was little because I didn't have the latest clothes, kids they
Right.
call you dirty,
Right.
So I was always getting bullied when I was little. So
Right.
once I got that gun in my hand, it gave me a sense of power.
Right. So
It made me feel like
it's like it's my turn now.
it made
You
me
know what I
feel
mean?
like I could determine if you live or die now.
Right.
That was
Hey,
my
that's deep.
mindset.
That's
You
deep.
know what I'm saying?
Determined. Yeah. It's
I
like
could I could I
almost.
could play God now.
Yeah.
You know what
Damn.
I'm saying?
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
once I got that, it was
It was
over.
over. It was over. So
It was
now
over.
it became from Wood getting bullied to
Yeah, now it's
but
like
everybody respect me. Everybody, anyone respect. I wanted them to fear me.
yeah, I didn't
You know
even
what I
care
mean?
if you respected me. I wanted you to fear me. I
Fear me.
wanted you to know that when you see me spinning that corner, you
Right.
already know what's up.
What's going on? Right.
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So you got sentenced, right? Boom. How many years you did?
20.
20 straight.
20 straight. Yeah.
Dang, that's how old are you?
I'm 40 now.
40. So that's half a year.
Yeah, I got sentenced. I got locked up at 16.
16.
So from 16 to the age of 36, I was in jail.
Dang, so that'll pretty much raise you, man.
Yeah.
So they sentenced you, they sent you upstate, whatever the case may be. You states or the feds?
States.
State, okay. So what was going through your mind? Like, were you still moving with the same reckless mentality that you had on the outside when you first got sent up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I still didn't understand the magnitude of what I was doing.
Right.
I still didn't understand that, somebody's life was just lost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was still thinking it was a game, and I'm like, man, I'll be back home. This ain't nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I still had that mindset, and I still was in there going to the whole fightings, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stabbings and things like that. So I didn't care. I still treated it like the streets at first.
Yeah. So how far did that get you? Like with that carrying that same mindset that you had on the outside, taking it on the inside. Like how far did that get you? Like on the inside, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it was an old head in there. It was a couple old heads in there, but it was an old head named Chucky Giles in there, right? And another old head named Magic Black Sam from the JBM, and my old head Winston. They used to just try to pour into me.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And I wasn't trying to really hear that shit.
Right.
I didn't really care about what y'all was talking about because I felt that y'all was outdated because y'all been down at this time like 20-something years.
Typical youngin.
Right. I'm like, y'all outdated. This my time now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it carried me all the way up until like 2014. Yeah, until I almost lost my life.
Oh man. Right. Okay.
So that's when I realized that I'm no longer the
what you used to.
I ain't the big bad bully that I really thought that I was.
You amongst 1,000 other big.
And I thought all the stuff that I was getting away with in jail. Once I got stabbed I had to block the knife from going in my neck. I really realized that. Yeah, you got to switch your game plan up.
So you ain't even supposed to be here right now. So
if the person don't call me while I'm sitting on the bench, if he don't call me to tell me to watch out, there's a possibility that I wouldn't. A possibility the knife would have been in my neck instead of me blocking the hit in my shoulder.
That's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
So all right, so I'm gonna say that was your turnaround point, right?
Yeah.
So at some point, your mind had to shift, right? You realize like, all right, what I was once doing, I can't do that no more. So so at what well you probably answered the question, but I was gonna ask you like at what point did you know that all right, I can't come in as the same man as I once was? But that was pretty much what you just told me just now.
Well, yeah, because I said I can't come in as the same man I once was. Right around all of that, right around the stabbing, and then it was just like the old heads was like, youngin, like what you want your end goal to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up with you? Like you got a chance to make it out.
Right.
We ain't going home.
Right. So it's like, so you like, all right, when I come home, I can't be that same man. I gotta come home with a different mentality.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't. I knew that I wasn't gonna come home to be the same person.
Okay, that's deep, man. So did the mentor in you get started while you was in prison, or did you find that purpose once you got home?
No, I started in jail.
Okay.
It started in jail because as I become like the old head.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because now the old heads that mentored me, they older, they getting sick, they
Right.
can't move around no
Right.
more. So I became the old head for real. I'm like 30 at this time.
Okay.
I mean, like 28 to 30. So now it's young boys coming in that was my age,
Right.
18, 19,
Right.
baby face and all that, and they really don't understand what's
Right.
going on. So because they didn't want to listen to them old heads
Right.
because they felt that they was outdated, what they would do is they would say, you know what, I'm gonna put you with my youngin.
Right. Okay.
He came in your age, and then that's when my mentor and stuff started to come. And then my old head said, that's your calling right here.
That's your calling, right? And he knew that. So pretty much what they did for you, you was doing for the youngest that was coming in.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they was just like, yo, we passing it off to you.
Passing it off, passing the torch.
Dig what I'm
Right.
saying? And he was like, that's your calling. And I kept all the young boys around me. And, I was just giving them all the game that the old heads would give me.
You. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And from there, he's like, that's your calling. And I came home. The day that I came home, I said, yeah, this is what I'm going to do.
So it's like in prison, you started that purpose journey, started from right there.
Yeah,
and it just, once you got home, it just took off.
Yeah, that was my purpose. Yeah, that was my purpose.
So, all right, so now you're starting to change. It took you a couple years, stabbings, fights. You know what I mean? You start to realize, all right, this ain't it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your old heads. You starting to listen to your old heads, soak in the game, man.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like I gotta rebirth myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So the question is, how hard was it to rebirth yourself in prison, right? And once you came home, because I'm sure it's easy to be the same reckless Wood. You know what I mean? But it's a lot harder to walk that straight and narrow path.
Mm-hmm.
So like how hard was it to like rebirth yourself in prison? Basically being that mentor to the youngest, and rebirth yourself on the outside. When you came home, if people wasn't tapped in with you, they thought we getting Wood, the same Wood from back north, come home on his BS. You know what I'm saying? So like, how hard was it just to rebirth yourself?
As far as in jail, it was a little hard because I had to figure out how I was gonna be able to go to these youngins. Is they gonna give me the same BS that I gave the old heads?
Right.
Is they gonna tell me, man, get out of here, old head, I ain't trying to hear that shit.
Right.
Is they gonna talk to me like that?
Right.
And how would I respond to that?
Right.
Because at this time I'm 30.
Right.
I'm still young.
Exactly.
I still got the mindset of, listen, you ain't gonna talk to me in kind of way,
exactly.
You dig me? So it was kind of hard for me to be able to turn that Wood from North Philly off into being Wood the mentor as far as in there. It was difficult. It was challenging. Because I would be like, yo, man, these youngsters ain't trying to hear that shit over here. He'd be like, yo, what'd I tell you? And he would take me in the cell. He'd be like, yo, what'd I tell you? I never gave up on you, right?
Right.
Don't give up on them. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hard, and I was getting frustrated.
Yeah.
And out here, oh my God, man, when I walked out here, because a lot of dudes still thought that, like you said, that I was from Lehigh Avenue.
Right.
They didn't understand that my life and my mindset has changed.
Right.
So what they would try to do is that they would try to blind me with around the way stories. You know what I mean? They would try to tell me about what happened in the hood and all this, since I've been gone, thinking that was going to be able to
get you back in
me back in it and have me back in it. Damn, man, man, look, man. They say the numbers on this is such and such, such and such. You know what I mean?
Right.
Damn, the block got to be open back up again. And I was just looking at them like
I've been going 20 years.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Still doing the same thing.
Right. And I would ask them, like, what's going on out here?
Right.
He's like, man, ain't shit changed. And I'm like, that's a problem.
Right.
Because I've been gone for 2 decades and you're telling me nothing hasn't changed. Because people think when they tell you that, they think there's some hip stuff to say.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once they start to realize, like, yo, he ain't on none of this shit.
Yeah.
The phone calls started to stop. You know what I mean? Texas stopped, the DM stops, because now you no longer could blind me with that. Right. I'm not that 16-year-old kid no more.
I ain't your puppet master.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm not that 16-year-old kid no more where you can be able to tell me anything expecting me to buy it. So now they like, yo, this nigga he on something else.
Right.
He ain't really on this right here. You know what I'm saying? But it was kind of hard because when you coming home and you get to see like everybody with the nice cars,
Right, exactly.
everybody with the jewelry, everybody got the little fly girls, things like, and you sitting back like, damn, I'm supposed to have that,
Right.
right? And that temptation do creep into your mind,
right.
Where you
Right.
say, I could give it like a 6-month ride.
Right.
Nah,
Get
man,
in, get out.
let me get in and get out. But that's not how I go.
Right. Because that one little incident caused you another dub.
You think what I'm saying?
I
got 20 years on parole.
So you really,
you dig me?
You really got to.
So I don't get off parole till 2042. You know what I'm saying? So for me to take that chance and take that risk, but it creeped in my mind. I'm talking about I was battling that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what kept me at float was like, I'm looking at my mom. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I prayed for, man, for me to get on this other side while she still be alive.
Right.
And he did that for me. So I was just like, I can't put that woman back through that.
Right. And
you know what I'm saying?
You owe that.
Yeah, I said. I mean? And you know what I told my mom, to be honest with you, and I tell people this, I actually talked to her the other day and I said, Mom, you gave me life twice. Not too many people could say that. And she started crying and couldn't understand it.
So what you mean by that?
She birthed me.
Right.
And she was there by my side the whole 20 years and she never left me.
Okay.
And she was the only one that was standing there when everybody else abandoned me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else disappeared. And all the friends that I thought was my homies, none of them ever came to see me in jail, not one time. Ever sent me a letter, ever sent me a money order. So it's like, why would I even be able to come back home to y'all, to something like that?
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't have none of the same friends that I grew up with, except one. So it's like, we can't coexist and talk about anything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Two different paths.
Right. So it's like when you talking to me, like they could call me, what they gonna call me about?
Right.
Because we ain't on the same frequency no more.
It's pointless conversation.
You think what I'm saying? So if you ain't telling me nothing about what happened around the hood, which I don't care about, it's like, then what can I call him about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now that I'm on this level that I'm on, it's just like, and
got that different mindset.
Yeah, and you hear the whispers on he changed, and no, I didn't change. I just adjusted.
Listen, you ain't worked that whole said, man. You ain't worked as hard to stay the same, man.
Yeah, like I mean, like I didn't, because when I look up, it's like nobody was there.
Yeah, and I tell people always say you change. Nothing is wrong with change if you change it for the better.
Yeah.
If you change it for the good.
Yeah.
If you change it for a purpose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
that
right there, that's how you should carry it.
And I don't tell people I didn't change. I just adjusted. Man.
You just adjusted.
That's it.
You just adjusted.
You know what I mean? I just adjusted. I just realized that that's not what I want to put my mother through.
Right.
I realized that that's not the life that I want.
Right. Same vehicle, different route.
That's it, man.
You know what I mean?
And don't nothing change.
Right.
The same dog bit me, gonna bite you.
Bite
man.
you. Right.
You know what I mean? So that was one of my hardest things, dealing with that right there, because I ain't gonna lie, man. I was going back and forth like,
I know it was.
If I could get 6 months out of this, I could do this and do this. Right. And it was a time, like at least like a week, where the mentor, I forget what old head was teaching me. Because I'm like, shit, I could take this and take this. And if I could go ahead and make this happen, shit, I'm gonna be cool.
Right.
But then it's like, I can't put my mom through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a battle, man. And I talked to my mom about it, and my mom cried and all that, because she was like, please. So that was my toughest thing.
Man, shit, that's that rebirth, man. It's hard, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than what people think it is.
Yeah, you gotta be different.
Yeah.
Because what happens is that I left as a 16-year-old kid. So when you start to really, technically, I'm still that 16-year-old kid.
Right.
That I did 20 years, but even though I'm 36, I'm still that kid because I haven't experienced nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't experience no prom.
Right.
I don't know what none of that stuff looked like.
Right.
Walking down the aisle, graduation. You know what I mean? I don't know what none of that looked like.
Right.
So it's like, I'm still that kid.
Mhm.
I still, you know what I mean? I still do kid things. So it's like, yeah, though, like, so that be mind boggling to me, man. That be mind boggling.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's deep, man. So so for the people who know your story and the ones that know you as Wood the mentor,
Mm-hmm.
like what would you say your real purpose is today?
To say these kids,
Save them. Mm.
to try my best to do whatever I can to be able to let them know that the road that they going down, it ain't going to end well.
Right.
To let them know that I did enough time for them.
Right.
Let them know that I made enough mistakes for them.
Mm.
I took enough beatings from the guards for them. I went through all of that so they won't have to go through that. That's my purpose. And if that's my purpose, man, and I'm willing to die about it.
Right.
Or what I believe in.
Yeah, and that separates you from a lot, man.
Yeah, so I'm willing to
Yeah.
die about. And like I said all the time, they was always asking, like, we got a lot of mentors out here. We got a lot of motivational speakers out here. You know what I'm saying? What separates Wood the mentor from them? And I said, well, man, the difference is, man, I'm willing to die about what I believe in.
Right.
And that's it.
Because you really been through it. You
Yeah, like
believe
I'm
it,
willing
you
to
know what
die.
I mean?
Yeah, I'm willing to. I go to sleep, cry about this sometimes. I
Right.
wake up, cry about it. So because I understand it,
Right.
and they don't.
Right.
I mean, they don't understand what they up against.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And a lot of like I ran into a lot of mentor guys and I mean everybody want to get a check to do stuff that they love, you know what I mean? But when I first reached out to you, the conversation that we had going back and
Right.
forth, I can tell it was different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, no, this boy really sturdy. And we don't have a relationship. We don't know
Right.
each other. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like just from the conversations, the DMs back and forth,
Yeah.
I'm like, no, this boy different, man. Like
Yeah.
he really walking in his purpose. And I mean,
Yeah.
I follow your Instagram, so I'm like, I see the change. Sometimes you can look somebody in the eyes
Yeah.
and see the change. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't understand, like, we got two different paths. You play the streets, I play the sidewalk. You know what I mean? But thorough is thorough. You can recognize that. Real is real, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And from one thorough person to another, I see that from the first time that I rapped to you. You know what I mean? So I gained a lot of respect just off of our conversations back and forth through the DM and all that. You know what I mean? So
and you walking in your purpose as far as you saying you play the sidewalk, that's a hell of a joint to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a hell of a thing to do because when you got other homies that's actually in the streets. So for you to be able to say, you know what, that's not what I want,
Right.
and you still have to deal with that temptation and peer pressure of them saying, yo, come on, man, like damn, we ain't even on nothing.
Right.
For you to have to really say, yo, I can't have that. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people fall victim to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that makes you more sturdier than a lot of dudes that claim to be street dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because you know your lane. You know what I mean? And you walk in your purpose. So when you start to, tally it up, man, it be making you more sturdy. That's why I tell people, man, I don't call them type of dudes squares.
Right.
Because I wish that I could have been that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just chose a different path.
Yeah. Talk to him, Wood. You done turned this joint to conversations with Wood, man. I'm giving you the cards, baby. Ask me the questions, man. You know what I mean?
No, man.
So, all right. So, when you stand in front of these youngest man today, like what part of your story do you hope reached them before the streets do?
I hope they really get to understand that I was their age, right? So I was their age at first. I was facing the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? And let them know that I went from facing the death penalty to facing a life sentence to having 20 to 40 years in jail to coming home and being one of the most powerful voices in the city. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I want them to know that it ain't over. Whatever you going through right now, it ain't over. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I laid in that cell and I dreamed and I envisioned, it's coming.
Right.
It's coming together.
Right.
I dreamed about being on the radio, TV, and all these other things, and I done made it happen within the 4-year plan. You know, so I want them to let them know. I want to let them know that don't let nothing for 50 seconds get you 50 years.
Facts.
Because that's all it took. All it took was for 1 minute to get me 20. So, like, I want to let them know that if you got your parents in your life, your mother, your father, listen to them.
Right.
Because they never wrong. It may sound crazy at first, because you may be like, man, y'all ain't even out here. But they never wrong.
Right.
They never wrong, man. And my mom, she always told me, man, like, I could look at your friends and I could tell you how you gonna end up. You know what I'm saying? So, and she told me, like, listen, I was a woman before I was your mother.
Right.
Like, yeah, I did this.
You did this, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I used to just always take that, but just listen to your parents, man, or listen to whoever, you know, your role model is. You look
That's
up
deep,
to.
man. That's deep, man. So you know what, coming up on the end, man. So, when it's all said and done, man, when you take your last breath, the clock stop ticking, casket closed, and I mean, beyond Wood the mentor, what do you want your legacy to be remembered for?
That's crazy, man. I was just talking to somebody about this. I want to be remembered as a boy that came home, that changed his lives, and not only did he change his kids' lives, he saved them, and that he was willing to put it all on the line for them. You know, because of what he believed in.
Right.
And I just, whenever my name would get brung up, I just wanted to be brung up in that light.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I did it for. That's what I do it for.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's what your legacy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like what you want your legacy to be.
Right. Exactly.
And that's what I wanted to be, man. Like, that's it, man. Like, I breathe this right here.
Right.
Like, I can't go a day without, like, doing something as far as when it comes to these youngins. You know what I'm saying? And I got youngins that call me every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, for them to be able to call me and tell me that they just need to talk to me before they make a decision, it does something to me.
Right. And that's crazy, because you being something to them that you ain't have growing up.
Yeah, like I'm talking about, listen, I'm 40 years old. I seen my real dad twice my whole life. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even tell you my birthday. He couldn't tell you nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I gotta get. I want that. Like, I love these youngins, man.
Right. Right.
I love these youngins, man, because a lot of them be lost.
Yeah.
And a lot of them be misguided. So that's what I want my legacy to be, that he did it his way, and he did it the right way.
Right.
You know, he didn't cut no corners. He didn't use these kids for a check. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. He just did it. He did it his way. He did it the right way, and that's what I wanted to be, man. When it's all over. When it's all over.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good, man. But yeah, man, that's what this conversation with Crawford is all about, man. It's about, real stories, real pain, real purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't bring you here to, like, glorify your pain, but more so let the people see where you came from it.
Right.
Who it made you become. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because I want them to see you. Yeah, you were the mentor, but there's a purpose behind. You ain't just Wood the mentor. You were the mentor with a purpose to save these kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, I ain't gonna take too much more of your time.
Hey, man, I enjoy being here, man.
Listen, I appreciate you, man.
I enjoy being here.
This was a good one, man.
Yeah.
I hope the youngest watching. You know what I mean? I hope y'all got some game. I know he gave y'all some game, but I hope y'all take it and receive it, man. Of course, I'm gonna drop your ad name and everything in there, so they know where y'all to find him. Listen, not even the youngest. Adults need mentors. Females need mentors. You know what I mean?
They definitely
all-purpose mentor. You know what I mean?
The females, they definitely.
The females need it, man. We gonna say that for your joint. The Wood After Dark. We gonna say that for your joint, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It, but yeah.
So yeah, brother, I appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
I appreciate your time, man. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this. It's a little slogan I say.
Okay.
You know, pretty much when purpose is pure, provision follows.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So when purpose is pure, provision follows, man. So that's my time, man.
Yeah.
Wood the mentor,
Okay.
Shots by Crofton, man. Just me, God, on my camera. Oh, one last thing. The count time, man. First, let's start with the merch. You got the merch on deck, the count time merch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We're gonna drop all that so y'all know where to support the good brother, support the purpose. You know what I mean? And we can't leave. I said my slogan, we can't leave without your drink, brother. So I'll let you do your thing. We're gonna end it like that.
Count time, count time.
Lights on.
Lights on.
We out of here, man. Oh, that was good.